I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Matt Duchesne of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Justus Aros of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Ryan Johansson of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get started on the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're good and educated about the show, click on that merchandise tab, and you can check out our classic logo t-shirt, our pride logo t-shirt, all the different special event t-shirts, and we've just released a brand new line of t-shirts, so go to our online store and check that out today. All the other gimmicks are still there: socks, wall art, throw pillow, bed sets. You know us. We've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent hockey operation right here. So listen up, Renegades. Here's how you can support the show. Please go to any of our social media platforms. That would be TikTok. That would also mean Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And give us a like, a follow, a subscription, and then pass along those links on those different platforms and help us out. Speaking of those links, YouTube. That's where you can become a subscriber and turn on those notifications, please. And we thank you so much for all of the recent subscribers that have joined us and are watching Renegades of Puck TV. Now we are over 200 episodes into the YouTube version of the Renegades of Puck podcast, and we're getting better each and every episode. So stick, taps, love, respect to everybody checking the show out through that venue. And this venue is the most lucrative for the show so far, and the most listeners are coming in through the Full Press NHL network, and we're sure to appreciate everyone listening on Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon, and so many other platforms. Thanks to the Full Press NHL network, we have been platformed and are being heard by more Renegades than ever before. We are getting close to another milestone thanks to our Milwaukee Admirals and our Calder Cup playoff coverage that's been going on for the entire month of May. We are so proud of what we've been able to do, and we thank each and every one of you for checking the show out, listening, and being loyal and great Renegades to the cause. Venmo is how you can become a financial sponsor or just make a donation to the show. Scan the QR code that's currently on your screen or search Renegades of Puck in Venmo, and that'll take you straight to our account. Every dollar goes a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck. Look at the amount of upgrades we have made here in the bunker over the last year. Well, we're looking to make some upgrades behind the scenes, and we've got some ambitious projects and plans coming up that we would certainly like some help with. So please, if you can spare a dollar, it'll certainly go a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck, an independent hockey operation, and we will make that go a very long way. So stick, taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you generous Renegades out there watching and listening right now. We sure do appreciate everything you've done to help us out. Now listen, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 759. That is right. It is time for show number 759. And at this moment in time in hockey history, the Milwaukee Admirals have taken a 1-0 lead over the Texas Stars in the Central Division final playoff round. It is round 3 of the Calder Cup playoffs, and Milwaukee Admirals have secured a 2-1 victory in Game 1, less than 24 hours away from puck drop already on Game 2 on Saturday night in Milwaukee, and then the entire series will return to Texas for Game 3, Game 4 if necessary, Game 5 if necessary. Now, quickly, let me update you because we are through one game in the entire bracket in this round. So let me update you on all of the other series going on before we go back and recap play-by-play and start getting into the stats, the analysis, and the Renegades of Puck jumping in the trenches here to talk about Milwaukee's huge victory in Game 1 over the Texas Stars 2-1. It was Hershey defeating Hartford in Game 1 of their best-of-5 series. Over on the other side of the bracket, Rochester secured a 1-0 victory in their best-of-5 series over Toronto, and it is currently Coachella Valley leading Calgary 1-0 in their series. Game 2 currently underway. They'll play Game 3 on Monday. The Saturday schedule lines up like this: Game 2 between Rochester, and they'll be in Toronto. Game 2, Hartford at Hershey, and of course, Game 2 that we're going to talk about extensively here on this episode of the Renegades of Puck podcast, the Texas Stars at the Milwaukee Admirals. Now, let's go back and talk about everything that happened in Game 1. It was the Texas Stars coming into this round after sweeping the Rockford Ice Hogs 3-0 in their best-of-5 series. And, of course, it was the Milwaukee Admirals advancing to this round to face off against the Central Division winning Texas Stars by defeating the Manitoba Moose in 5 games. By the way, the score of 2-1 tonight in Game 1 was also the same score that Milwaukee was able to win Game 5 by 2-1 over Manitoba. Nova. So 2-1 right now is a very good score for the Milwaukee Admirals. We've got a whole lot to talk about. It's time to get into the Rebirth Sports full game recap. It's coming up right now.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to May 12th of the year 2023 when the Milwaukee Admirals were hosting the Texas Stars in Game 1 of the Central Division Best of 5 playoff series in the Calder Cup playoffs. Carl Taylor uses his line participants in the following ways. Your left wingers for the game are Schneider, Afanasyev, Evangelista, and Rushev. Your centers are Sanford, Jankowski, Huntington, and McCarron. On the right wing, Tomasino, Sherwood, Kemmel, and Angelo. The defensemen for this game and participating are going to be Gross and McEwen, Delgaiso, Stastny, Willsby, and Thompson, and of course Yaroslav Askarov gets the start in net for the 6th consecutive game in these playoffs. We are just 16 seconds into this brand new series and Game 1, and it is Murray coming up with a save on Delgaiso. It's the first shot on goal, not only of the game, but of the series. It's 3:02 now into the first period, and it's Murray coming up with a save on Gross with McCarron following up the play. At 4:01 of the first period, it's Willsby off the box. 2 minutes for delay of game, so we've got our first penalty of the series. Askarov comes up with a save on Bork. It's his first touch of the game. Now everybody is into the game. Askarov would come up with another save on Bork on the weak side one-timer, and Bork has one heck of a shot coming over there from Ovechkin's office. At 6:30 after the power play expired, it would be Gardner scoring for Texas. The first goal of the series gives the Stars a 1-0 lead. It was Gardner's third goal of the playoffs. So it was a wrist shot off of the rush from the right-hand side. Looked like it might have ski-ramped off of the defenseman's stick just a little bit, but makes no difference. It's in the back of the net. It's the first goal of the series. Texas holds a 1-0 lead. 6:30 into the first period. 8:26 into the first period. Murray comes up with a save on Evangelista from the left circle. 8:57 of the first period. Murray comes up with a save on Willsby through some heavy traffic. 12:09 in the first. Murray comes up with a save on Schneider plus the follow-up rebound opportunity. 12:55. Murray another save on Sanford, this time also at close range. 15:59 of the first period. It's going to be Butcher going off the box. 2 minutes for Hookie and giving the Milwaukee Admirals their first power play opportunity of this game, and it's going to be Luke Evangelista cashing in with his third goal of the playoffs. It was a heavy shot from the slot over the glove. Sherwood with the feed off of the wall. Slick, heavy pass, even slicker, heavier shot puts Milwaukee on the board with their first goal of the series, tying the game up at 1 apiece. 17:08 of the first period. Askarov comes up with a save on Petrovic. 18:21 Askarov, another save on Shea. We hit the intermission. Milwaukee out shooting Texas 16-11 after the first 20 minutes of the series. We roll into a clean sheet, and we go 1:02 into the second period. Askarov is coming up with a save on Butcher at 4:22 of the second period. Delgaiso off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Askarov comes up with a save on Bork. Askarov then comes up with another save on Reedy. Really good scoring chances there for the Texas Stars in some close range scenarios. 6:45 into the second period. It's Murray coming with a save on McEwen from the low slot. The first shot on goal for Milwaukee in the second period comes at the 6:45 mark of the second period. 6:53. Askarov back to work with a save on Caro. A large scrum after the whistle right here, and that's going to lead to tough day off to the box. 2 minutes for roughing. Looked like we were going to have matching minors, but it is Milwaukee coming out of this with the power play opportunity. It's Murray coming in with a big save on Sherwood, and thankfully for the Stars, the Admirals, uncharacteristic, a very sloppy power play, drop passes to nowhere, passes that could not connect out near the blue line, and just not quite the Admirals clicking on the power play the way we have seen them so far, well, honestly, through the entire regular season and through the first round. So a sloppy power play by Admiral standards, no doubt. 9:10 into the second period. Askarov comes up with a save on Studnik, and then at 11:01, Askarov comes with a save on Gleason, this time at very, very close range. Kind of an awkward save, but he got the job done. 13:07 into the second period. Murray comes up with a save on Gross. 16:13. Askarov back to work with a save on Kiro. 18:19. Askarov, a save on the back covers in the blue paint, and he absolutely held on to this one, being pushed, being poked, being jammed, being prodded into the net. The whistle had long since blown, but still they were trying to jam away at it right here. Askarov holds the line. 1938 of the second period. Murray comes up with one more save on Rushev off of the rush, at least giving the Admirals a little something there at the end of the period, as we were seeing the Texas Stars make a little bit of a push. At the end of the second period, the shots on goal now are evened up at 21 apiece. So the Admirals only able to generate 5 shots on goal in the second period, while the Texas Stars are able to generate 10 shots on goal and certainly seem to have more of the pressure. We are now into the third period after a awkward feeling out couple of minutes and the teams seeming just a bit timid, not wanting to make that first mistake. We see Shea do make that first mistake for Texas. He's off to the box 2 minutes for tripping, but then Gardner makes the second mistake, and he's going to be off to the box 2 minutes for slashing. Just 15 seconds later, creating a 5-on-3 for potentially as long as 1 minute and 45 seconds. The Admirals with the number 1 overall power play in the regular season, and also one of the best power plays in the first round of this Calder Cup playoffs. In this 5-on-3 scenario, it is going to be Kemmel setting up over there in Ovechkin's office. He's got the one-timer from the dot. On the second opportunity, he cashes in with his second goal of the playoffs, and that's going to give Milwaukee a 2-1 lead here in the third period. But after that 5-on-3 power play goal, you would have a continuation of a 5-on-4 power play for another 44 seconds, and the continuation would not be of scoring, but it would be of pressure, and the zone time and the pressure allowed Milwaukee to not only gain the lead over the course of this special teams setup, but also gain momentum carrying on well past that, and their play would seem inspired. Seem they kicked up to another level after this power play. 6:38 of the third period. It's Murray coming up with a save on McCarron with Afanaseyev. Rebound jam attempt in close. Angelo at 7:50 of the third period. Off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. The PK, which has been outstanding this entire playoffs, is going to be tested. They are going to pass that test with flying colors. Just an incredible PK. Zone denials, not giving up a single shot on goal. It was just great work by the Milwaukee Admirals on this penalty kill. 9:57 of the third period. Askarov comes with a save on Blumel. It's the first shot on goal for Texas in the third period. They had a power play, and it's taken them almost 10 minutes, and now they're getting just their first shot on goal when they're down by a goal in the third period. 10:18. Askarov comes up with a save on Caro. You knew it wouldn't be the end. 12:55. Askarov comes up with a save on Damiani. 13:51. Askarov comes with a save on Tuftek. Close range. We flip over to the back of the sheet and find it 15:30 of the third period. It's Murray coming up with a save on Gross as the Admirals push back briefly here in the third period. 15:39. Out of the third, it's Murray coming with a save on Jankowski. And I had to make the notation because it wasn't high event hockey at this point or for the rest of the game, but the Admirals are just playing great period out there. They're controlling and competing everywhere on the ice in all 3 zones. Blue line denials and smart hockey. And yes, they made mistakes, so it was not perfect hockey, but damn, that was close to being a perfect period. Very close to being a perfect period. Just a couple of turnovers and a couple of bad passes away from it truly being a perfect period. Texas, good 6-on-5 pressure, but not until the final 30 seconds. They had trouble getting the goaltender Murray out of the net at the time that they wanted to get him out of the net. On the second opportunity, when they finally do get him out of the net, only about 30 seconds worth of good zone time and pressure, but none of it really gets through to the net as the Milwaukee Admirals continue to hold strong. And they finish this game out with a 2-1 victory over the Texas Stars, who won the Central Division by 3 points over these Milwaukee Admirals. But now the Admirals hold the 1-0 lead in this best-of-5 series, out shooting Texas 33-27 in this game. So that means the Admirals only gave up 6 shots on goal, 6 total shots on goal in the third period, and that includes being shorthanded for 2 full minutes, and that also includes the 6-on-5 scenario there at the end of the game with the empty net. So the Milwaukee Admirals put together a masterpiece of a third period. It was a full team effort there in the third to secure the 1-goal victory for the Milwaukee Admirals, giving them a 1-game lead in the best-of-5 series. It's the first time the Texas Stars have taken a punch in these playoffs, sweeping Rockford before this. The first time they have suffered defeat. I expect they are going to respond and escalate coming up in Game 2. We've got a whole lot more to talk about. That was just the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We are just getting getting started right here. We've got full analysis coming up after the break. We've also got the Renegades of Puck, the box score. Brian Baston is in the trenches with us, and we're going to talk about UC Saros before we close out because the Vezina nominations for the NHL came out, and while we are focusing almost exclusively on Milwaukee Admirals AHL Calder Cup coverage right now, we are going to divert about 3% of that to UC Saros because I have to address the fact that UC Saros got screwed for a Vezina nomination, being a Vezina finalist in the NHL. But we'll talk about that after the break, and we'll probably talk about that really towards the end of the show so we don't distract and divert anymore from Game 1 and Game 2 preview coming up. So let's take that first break, and let's get back and let's talk about everything that happened in this game, and we'll preview everything that's going to happen in Game 2.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Yaroslav Askarov seemed to have plenty of comfort in the series against the Texas Stars. He's played against them so many times already from the regular season, so he seemed to be at ease going into the game. Did not see any reason that he would be tense or stressed or not ready to go in this one. And when called upon, he was absolutely excellent. 26 out of 27. Honestly, quite a light workload for Yaroslav Askarov. And in the series now and in the playoffs in total, 155 of 168 and 923 save percentage, 2.13 goals against average. And again, this was not a game that he had to steal or stand on his head. The team in front of him and the entirety of the team was a participant in the defensive effort in this game. So Yaroslav Askarov was big when necessary, came up with a couple of really important saves in close range, but overall, this was not the game he needed to steal. That may happen later on down the road, later on in this series. But for tonight, Askarov was very good in net now for the playoffs. He's got a record of 4-2 and again, a 923 save percentage. And it was good to see the Milwaukee Admirals not relying on him to single-handedly try to defeat the Texas Stars in the third period. It was great to see the way the team coalesced around the defensive effort in that final 20 minutes, especially once they got ahead by 1. Let's talk about some of the standout performances and do some analysis from this game. Kemmel with the game-winning goal came on the 5-on-3 one-timer, and I made the notation immediately. I'm glad they went right back to it. The typical thought process is you never go back to a play that misses immediately because the defense just saw it and they know exactly what you're trying to set up. Kemmel had just missed with the one-timer. The puck goes around the wall, gets cycled back throughout the top of the zone, and right back to Kemmel for another one-timer attempt from the face-off dot. And I'm so glad that they did. First of all, the shot is wonderful. That's the second time we've seen him do that in this playoff series. In the playoffs period, it's his second goal of the playoffs, his second power play goal, second time he's hit the one-timer from over there on the face-off dot, and just a good scoring forward from over there on the face-off dot, especially when it comes to the power play. And it reminds me a lot of exactly what Ellie Tobin was doing. It reminds me a lot of what Philip Forsberg has done for many, many years at the NHL level. We got to talk about Luke Evangelista. He had a goal and an assist, 2 points, led the Milwaukee Admirals in this game, 3 shots on goal as well out of that. And it was just a strong, all-over-the-ice performance, a complete performance. Luke Evangelista is everything you want in a hockey player. He's big, he's strong, he's tough, he goes to the hard areas, he competes, but he also has incredible offensive skill, good in close range around the net. He can pass, he can skate, he can shoot. Luke Evangelista is truly the total package when it comes to a hockey player, and watching his development in just such a short amount of time with the Milwaukee Admirals, then the Nashville Predators, now back with the Milwaukee Admirals for this Calder Cup playoff run. It's really eye-opening to continue to get to watch him. I've covered him in multiple development camps and also training camps for the Nashville Predators, and he stands out each and every time, but nothing nothing like he's been standing out in the playoffs so far for the Milwaukee Admirals. Just a complete performance, and now 7 points for the Milwaukee Admirals in 6 games since coming back down from the Nashville Predators to participate in the Calder Cup playoffs. You cannot talk about this game without talking about the Milwaukee Admirals special teams. It was the absolute key to success in this game. The power play, 2 for 4, converting on the 5-on-3. It was the time. It was essential. It was an absolutely necessary goal. The Admirals had to score on that 5-on-3, a tone-setting goal for the series. That's how important that power play was. 2 for 4 on the power play in the game. Great job by the Admirals right there. They continue what they did during the regular season with the first-rated power play in the entire AHL. They converted 29.6% in the regular season. They converted at 31% in the round against the Manitoba Moose, going 5 of 16, and now already 2 of 4 in this round against the Texas Stars. And the PK, you have got to add in the penalty kill, 3 of 3 in this game, and down in the third period, with down by 1 goal, Texas was unable to generate a single shot on goal against this Milwaukee Admirals penalty kill. It was just absolutely incredible. And again, it's a PK unit that had plenty of success during the regular season. They were 3rd overall in the AHL, converting 84.3%, and in the round against Manitoba, 17 out of 20 on the PK. So not a surprise that it was the special teams that were the catalyst for victory for the Milwaukee Admirals, as it was against the Manitoba Moose, and as I suspect it's going to continue to be. So for the Milwaukee Admirals, if they can continue this special team success, I do not know how far they could go, but it will carry them a very, very long way. And what will carry them even further than successful special teams is that team defense and that commitment to the plan. The Texas Stars, you all know this. You watch the series preview and you follow along, and you're high IQ hockey fans as it is. The Texas Stars scored 265 goals in the regular season. 3.68 goals per game was 1st overall in the AHL. Against Rockford, they scored 5, they scored 4, they scored 4, and they put the puck in the net with absolute ease. So for the Admirals to shut down that high-powered Texas Stars offense, and the Admirals had not done that very many times. You go back and take a look. The Texas Stars had scored 5, 5, 5, 3, 5. Only 2 times had they held them below 3 goals this entire season. To hold them to 1, it's the first time they've done it this entire season. So that team defense, especially in the third period, that defense can beat any team in the AHL. If they can continue to put up this type of effort and this level of competitive defense against the Texas Stars, they will not only compete in this best-of-5 series, they will continue to win games in this best-of-5 series. I was highly impressed, and I believe that they can beat anyone when they play to that level, only giving up 27 shots against on net. Again, the Texas Stars are a team that generates 32.4 shots on net throughout the season. That was 3rd best in the AHL. Tonight, only 27, 6.5 shots less on goal than their typical average. That is the mark of total team defense. Just highly, highly impressed with how Milwaukee was able to come out and not be intimidated in any way. Now, all of that being said, that's a lot of nice things you said about the Milwaukee Admirals. The Texas Stars won the Central Division for a reason, and they have a very good squad. Now, this is the first punch that they have taken. Sweeping Rockford was so easy that maybe they weren't quite in their full competitive mode. Now, in a best-of-5, there's no time for slipping, sleeping, and half-stepping. You've got to be ready to go game 1. They were not ready to go. That was not the Texas Stars' best effort. That was the Texas Stars' first punch, however, and now we're going to see how they respond. And I think Milwaukee Admirals fans and Milwaukee Admirals players, you need to prepare for escalation. It will be a different level of competition in Game 2. It may only be about 21 hours later from the end of the game to the start of Game 2, but the energy level and the amount of post-whistle scrums and the amount of penalties we see in this game, I think, is going to pick up significantly. I think you should prepare for escalation, and I think Milwaukee Admirals should prepare for battle. the Texas Stars are looking to throw the next punch, and they are looking to leave Milwaukee bloodied, heading back home to Texas with 3 games left to play at home ice if they need them all. Milwaukee could be ready and should be ready to respond in Game 2. I am very much looking forward to it. This is exactly the type of series that it's so easy to get into. 2 really great hockey teams played a really close game. I expect it to loosen up a little bit in Game 2, and I also expect the Stars and the Admirals to really get after each other from a physical standpoint. We saw some of it, but we didn't see a lot of it. We're going to, for sure, on a Saturday night in Milwaukee. That's going to do it for the analysis portion of this show. We've got box score, stats, analysis, the Renegade Analytics Desk, Brian Baston, all of that coming up right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. When it comes to the box score, Luke Evangelista was your goal scorer. Joachim Kemmel was also a goal scorer. On the assist side of things, Luke Evangelista also with an assist, the only player on the team with 2 points. Jordan Gross picks up another assist, adds another point to his team lead for the Admirals in the playoffs. Cole Schneider picks up an assist. It was awarded late, but they finally got it on the board for him, and it was definitely deserved. Kiefer Sherwood picks up an assist. In the shots on goal category, Gross led the team with 5 shots on goal, and it was Kiefer Sherwood with 4, a couple of other players with 3 shots on net. Overall, shots on goal not that high for the game. It was 33 for Milwaukee, Texas 27. That's probably the more important and more impactful number. Milwaukee holding Texas to only 27 shots on goal. When it comes to special teams, power play, Milwaukee 2 of 4, and on the power play, they were the penalty kill 3 for 3. So that means Texas does not pick up any goals on their 3 power plays, and that's the difference in this game. Special teams in favor of Milwaukee makes the difference. The Admirals' tough third period team-wide defense really shuts things down and shuts down the best offense in the entire AHL. Yaroslav Skarov, 26 out of 27. He was absolutely outstanding when he needed to be in this game. Now listen, that's not the only numbers you're going to get on this episode of the Renegades of Puck podcast. No, on episode 759, it's the return of Brian Baston. He's got the charts you need to see and the numbers you need to know, and he's right here. Time to bring the jam, Brian.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Well, the Admirals kicked off the Central Division Finals in the Calder Cup playoffs with a 2-1 victory over the Texas Stars in a hard-fought game, which may have seemed like, a little bit slow, maybe a little bit boring, but this Admirals team stuck to their game plan. And we talked about this last week at the end of the last series against the Manitoba Moose. What were the things that the Admirals did well that they needed to continue to do? Well, folks, looking at the stats, looking at the numbers, let me tell you, they did exactly that. So we're going to run through all the topics of last series, One Big Stat, and let's see how the Admirals fared in this 2-1 victory to take a 1-0 series lead. And so that's going to be the topic of tonight's One Big Stat. So what have we talked about? Special teams, huge emphasis, and Milwaukee just continues to be awesome. Once again, they forced the Texas Stars to go 0 for 4 on the power play. So again, they've had a tremendous penalty kill this postseason, going 87%, giving up just 3 goals on 23 attempts. So excellent power penalty killing. They're doing it and have continued to do well. As well as the power play. Tonight was another 2 power play goal game. That's the third of the 6 postseason games so far for Milwaukee, going 7 of 20 for 35% on power play. So biggest keys were special teams, and once again, Milwaukee did it. They scored on 2, going 2 for 3, and forced the Stars to go 0 for 4 on the penalty kill. I talked a lot about a player who really stood out to me and once again looked great tonight, and that is Jordan Gross. He was on the ice for both goals on the power play unit. He picked up a primary assist on the game-winning power play goal that went to Joachim Kamel. And through 6 playoff games, Gross still leads all Admirals in assists, points, primary points, and is tied for the lead with 4 power play points. But who is he tied with in the lead in that category? Well, if you've been paying attention, you know the answers to this one. Luke Evangelista and Kiefer Sherwood, again, had a tremendous game for this unit. And you look at the stats, you can see why. Evangelista picked up the first goal and an assist on the man advantage, picking up 2 power play points with the goal and the assist. And in fact, the trio of Gross, Sherwood, and Evangelista have 36% of all Admirals goals in the playoffs and 42% of all their points. And this was the 3rd game of the series where all 3 players had at least 1 point in the game together. They also did that in games 1 and 2 of the last series. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Yaroslav Askarov, who is now has a record of 4-2 in these Calder Cup playoffs, giving up 13 goals in 6 games on 168 shots for a save percentage of 92.3%. 92.3%, remember that. And these first 6 playoff games kind of look like a mirror image of each other if you look at them. In games 1 through 3, Askarov gave up 8 goals on 101 shots against, going 1-2 in those games. But in the next 3 games, however, things turned around, or at least it seems that way. Askarov would give up just 5 goals in those 3 games, and he would do it against just 67 shots against. But let's not let the numbers fool you. Askarov's save percentage in games 1 through 3, as well as games 4 and 5, and tonight's game 1 victory, almost exactly the same, both sitting at about 92.4%. So if you look at all this, he is providing this team a rock-solid foundation. He's never giving up more than 3 goals. He's 3 games where he's given up 3, 2 games where he's just given up 1, and he's reliably above 90% save percentage, which he's done in 5 of 6 games this season. So I can't come up here and tell you, here's something that the Admirals need to exploit, or here's something that they're doing well or not doing too well. We've talked about the same things. We've talked about the same players, and these same guys are getting out there and doing it. I mean, credit again, too. I talked about Gross, Evangelista, and Sherwood, but Joachim Kamel as well as Cole Schneider were both also on those power play units. So those guys deserve a lot of credit for what they did. And Carl Taylor has something special cooking on special teams up in Milwaukee, down in the AHL. So what's the advice for game 2? Roll it back. Play the hits, boys. Let's take that 2-0 series lead, and hopefully we can go into Texas and win, get our way to the Western Conference Finals on Texas's home ice. And that is tonight's One Big Stat. Charlie?
I sure do appreciate Brian. Great to have him back on the show, and great to have his analysis from the Renegade Analytics Desk. Now, listen, that's game 1. Game 2, puck drop, less than 21 hours away. We got to get this show up and post and get it turned around and get you fully updated and fully informed on everything that happened in game 1, get you previewed for game 2, and get you in and out in a hurry. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to close the show out right here, and I'm going to give you a very brief rant about UC Saros. I'm not going to go into all the numbers, not going to go into all the stats. All I'm going to say is this: that UC Saros was absolutely robbed when it comes to the Vezina Trophy finalist announcement. Now listen, everybody knew that the Vezina was a runaway for Linus Ullmark this year, but no goaltender, not a single goaltender in the NHL did more to keep his team alive and potentially thriving than UC Saros. Yes, the Predators fell just short of making the NHL playoffs, but UC Saros, the final month and a half of the season, was as good as he has been at any point in time in his career, and he was as good, if not better, than any goaltender in the NHL the final 2 months. He didn't have the wins totals, but he did have the numbers when you really start digging in and looking at it. He belongs in that award ceremony, not winning it, but he belongs getting the nod for the season that he put on, keeping a team alive until the very last days of the season when they had no business being alive in the playoff race. UC Saros got robbed. Listen, I know this is just a local thing here in Nashville that we're quite perturbed about, but it's easy to get perturbed about when you cover UC Saros night in and night out, game in, game out. You know how much of a difference maker he is for the Nashville person, how many games he single-handedly wins or keeps the Predators in, giving them a chance to at least get a point or come back late. It is simply a terrible, terrible decision by the people who voted on that one. And I frankly, I typically don't care that much. Awards, peripheral stuff, awards, jerseys, names of arenas. These are all things that are on the periphery of what we do here, and they're fun to talk about. Sometimes they're fun to comment on, but I don't really care about that type of stuff. So for me to spend any time on this show getting away from all of the significance of talking about the Admirals, Game 1 and Game 2, and all of the significant things going on right now on the ice, to take the time to talk about something going on off the ice that's as silly as an award, it really pissed me and a lot of people off that Saros got snubbed for the finalist for that. Should have been the second year in a row and should have primed him potentially to win it next year. I predict he's going to come back and have an incredible year next year with a much better, younger, hungrier team in front of him. I expect UC Saros to put up an even better season, and maybe he'll leave the way Linus Ullmark left, no doubt. Maybe UC Saros will be able to leave, no doubt. I don't see UC Saros and the Nashville Predators having a goaltender with 40-plus victories in the regular season next year. I don't really see that happening for anybody next year. Linus Ullmark had a special season. That's why I said he was clear and running away with the Vezina this year. But UC Saros deserves to be at the award show. He deserves to be on the stage, and the GMs and the people that vote on that made a terrible, terrible mistake on this one. Milwaukee Admirals secure the 2-1 victory in Game 1 best-of-5 series. They've got Game 2 coming up in just about 20 hours now, and then they will head on off Game 3, and possibly Games 4 and Game 5 will take place in Texas. It is Central Division Final best-of-5 playoff series, Calder Cup playoffs. Milwaukee Admirals now hold a 1-0 lead. The Texas Stars have taken that punch. How will they respond? We will be right here in the bunker to talk about it, break it down, discuss it, and cover it tomorrow night immediately after the game. Admirals, will they be up 2-0 and in control of the series, heading back to Texas, just needing to win one? Or will Texas do what they probably came here and hope to do, get the split and get on home with 3 potential games left to play on home ice? We'll be here to break it down and talk about it. I can't wait to be back in the bunker and back in the trenches with each and every one of you Renegades. Oh, and for the Texas Stars fan that checked out the show and got in the comments and said Texas was going to sweep, well, I guess anything's possible. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.